Hello, everybody. This is Jenny. Welcome to Senior Perspective on Sister Wives. And oh my goodness, did you see episode 2? I'm speechless. There were so many good. I did not expect it to be that good. I was shocked by some things. I was appalled by a lot of things. Let's talk about all of it. There were so many individual lines that I thought, I cannot believe I just heard that. And then 2 minutes later, another one would trump it. We're just going to have to go through it all. The episode opens up still at Christine's house after they had moved Isabel across the country. So now Janelle and Maddie are getting ready to leave. Janelle's going with Maddie. Maddie had driven from North Carolina. I'm guessing Janelle's going to ride with her back to North Carolina and then fly back to Arizona. That makes sense. At any rate, before they do that, they're visiting some properties. And Christine goes on to share with us that back last season when we saw them go on that trip to Idaho to visit Christine's brothers, Christine shared that on the way back from that trip, Maddie and Caleb kept texting properties to Janelle. So Christine said as she's driving back, she's listening to this entire conversation, and she realized that Caleb and Maddie are interested in buying property nearby. I think it was Montana. I keep getting Montana and Wyoming mixed up. I don't know why. I think it was in Montana. And back then, the discussion included Janelle as a part of it. So Christine's like, so you're moving in with your daughter and Caleb now and buying new property? So that means it's over with Kody? And Janelle doesn't give a straight answer. She goes, yeah, I guess. So when we feel like she holds her cards close to her chest with us, she does it with everybody. It's just Janelle being Janelle. And Christine's just like, So in the car on the way back, there's a camera. And Maddie and Janelle are talking about the status of Janelle moving with them and what she's going to do about Coyote Pass. So we're getting Coyote Pass talk. Oh, already, episode 2. I'm loving it. And call me a fool.
You fool!
I, last season, kept reiterating everything Kody was saying about how there's 4-acre lots, a 4-acre lot, 4-acre lot, and 2-acre lot, and 2-acre lot. And I'm like going along with it. I know better. That's his dream on how he wants to divide the land. First of all, the land can't be divided into different lots until it's paid off. What a fool I am. I just walked right into that, fell for all of it. Of course, the way he's describing the way the property is doesn't exist right now. No one is going to let you divide up land differently if you don't own the land. And they don't own the land until they pay off all the land. Now, going back to the original breakdown of how everything was, I'm just verklempt on how the OG3 allowed it to happen the way it did. Okay, so let's take Kody's name out of all of this because he owns 50% of everything. Well, not quite 50% because one parcel of land has 3 names on it. So taking Kody's name off of everything, let's just look at what the wives own. The lots are currently divided as such: 2 acres, 2 acres, 4 acres, 5 acres. Robyn owns the 5-acre lot and the 2-acre lot. Robyn owns 7 acres of the property. Mary would own 2, Janelle would own 4. How the heck is this dividing everything up equally? And later on, Robyn claims everything's been done fairly and equally, and she doesn't understand. Oh, wait till we get to that point. Oh, my blood was boiling. I was losing it here on Sunday night. I'm telling you. Again, Kody's name's on everything. Robyn owns 7 acres of the property. Janelle owns 4 acres of that property. And Mary owns 2. She has been How did Mary allow that to happen? I'm disgusted by it all. Just disgusted. The imbalance and unfairness of what Robyn gets versus what all the other wives get. Unbelievable.
Disgusting.
Robyn has more property than Janelle and Mary combined. Where's the fairness in this? Ooh, let's go on. Janelle points out that in addition to that, Robyn has her house, her $1 million house. Christine had her house, wasn't a $1 million house, but maybe half that. Mary has her own house in Parowan, Utah. Now, the family never participated in helping getting that going, but that was 100% Mary's money. But Janelle owns nothing. She was so blindly loyal in this family. Really believed that, well, if one wife says they need something, and we just give it to them. And my needs are not that great. She's so good to the core, so incredibly pure and wholesome, that I just want to defend her. I want to fight for her. It makes me angry and against Robyn and Kody even more than I was before. This episode, getting me going.
Dang.
And Janelle has a really good point. Because Mary bought that other house all by herself, literally from their marriage of over 30 years, the only thing they are taking away is the property. Janelle's 4 acres and Mary's 2 acres. And now when I say Janelle gets 4 acres and Mary gets 2 acres, Kody can just really be himself and be a dick and say, no, you don't really get 2 acres of land because my name's on there too. I get half of that. And that 4-acre parcel that has both of your names on it, yeah, my name's on there too. I get 1/3 of that. This is bad. I think this is going to be very bad.
Just watch.
Okay, so clearly Kody's kids are very much aware of his ability to understand finances and save money and prioritize finances, because Janelle in the car specifically comes out and says, listen, we only have a few more months, less than 6 months, before the final note is due on the property. We've been paying on it for all these years. But if we don't pay it off in time, we lose it. We just lose it all. It's the way it is. Robyn thinks that's stupid. I think Robyn's stupid. That's the way it goes. If you foreclose on your house, you walk away from it. You don't say, but I paid this much into it, so I want that back. I mean, she's so dumb. So all this money that they've been putting in, hundreds of thousands of dollars, they will be out if they don't pay it off in full at the end. Now, understandably, Janelle's very concerned about this. Janelle's like, we need to handle this. We need to take care of this. Kody's not giving her any feedback. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Oh, we'll talk about that later. And he keeps putting it off. Maddie's driving and just kind of looking, And then Janelle says, well, I mean, your father wouldn't not pay it off and lose all that money. Like, that wouldn't make it. He would never do that, would he? Here's Maddie's face.
I'm sure your dad's going to want to pay that off, right? I mean,
she actually thinks he would. I mean, he is that irresponsible with finances that his grown adult daughter thinks he could walk away from hundreds of thousands of dollars that he's put into this property because he won't pay it off in the end. Or maybe she just thinks he's that spiteful and that he would do that to hurt the rest of the wives. Although, quite frankly, now that we're looking at how it's all divided in that and we see how much is in Robyn's name and how little Robyn owns more than the two of them combined, of course he's going to pay it off. One way or another, I think I heard somewhere that he actually took out a loan, a separate loan, to pay off that land. How does he not have the money? I can't. Okay, let's go on. So now we have Kody's response. I should have taken a drink before this to calm myself down. All right, here we go. This is Kody's response to the fact that Janelle keeps asking about the property and he's not talking to her about it.
Well, Janelle asks me about the property all the time, but I don't trust her anymore, and so I don't give her any information.
Oh, you don't trust Janelle? Janelle, who's handled your finances for the past 30 years. You suddenly don't trust her. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. And on top of the fact that he doesn't trust her, so he's going to treat her like a little kid would, tit for tat. Well, I don't trust her anymore, so I withhold information from her. You know why he's withholding information from her? He's withholding information from her because he has lost all control of these OG3 wives. And the only thing he has control of right now is Coyote Pass. It appears to me that Janelle has handed the books over to him because she just keeps contacting him about doing it. And I don't know why she's just not taking money out of the main fund and doing it. I'm starting to think more and more that Janelle didn't really have her finger on the pulse of the finances. I feel like Kody had control of the bank accounts and that he would let Janelle know as needed what she needed to know. Here's the balance in there. Here's the balance in this one. How much money do we have to pay other things off? I think we're going to get a lot more information about finances this season, and I am so excited. I can't even. I'm giddy about it.
We will pay off the property when the time comes. And I'm not giving you any details about what I'm doing or whatever, because I'm tired of disclosing information that goes through the gossip mill of our broken family.
I will tell you what you need to know when you need to know it. Gosh, he's such a child. He trumps himself. Episode after episode about how young and immature and stupid and childish he is. I can't with this man. I can't.
Okay, every pony calm down.
He is in his 50s and he's acting like this. If my children in high school acted like this, I would say, you're not in elementary school. Grow up. That is not you. You know better. Kody, no accountability. Well, there never has been accountability. Now that he's starting to receive it, the pressure's on and the heat is on and he's feeling it. He's doing all he can to push back and hurt back. And he's now claiming he's not going to talk about paying off the land because the rumor mill's crazy in this broken family. What? Who cares? Is it a secret, Kody? Why is this a secret if it is a secret? This is the dumbest thing I ever heard. I'm not going to tell you what vegetables I bought at the grocery store today because the rumor mill in this family's crazy and you might tell somebody else. It's the same thing. Useless piece of information. How Kody's paying it off doesn't really matter. Janelle just wants to make sure something that has her name on it doesn't disappear. And that's very mean of him to withhold that information from her. Meanwhile, Janelle's starting to throw him under the bus. He's told me everything about all these other wives and their relationships and things going on with them that I don't think he should have been telling me. Ooh, that's a chapter in the new book that you should be writing, Janelle. Sing like a bird. I'm loving it. Then we have Robyn come on screen in her absolute delusional state of, I think everything would be great on the property if Janelle and Mary were out there, even Christine. Your husband hates her, and right now is hating the other women too, but you think it'll all be great. How dumb are you? Gosh. Liar, dumb. I can never decide. Maybe the lines cross. But over and over and over again, when this woman speaks, I think, are you lying or are you stupid? There's no other option. Maybe chosenly stupid. I choose to not listen to the words that you are saying. I will reinvent them and change them before they go into my ear and my brain so that I hear what you just said in a very different way, in the way that I want to hear it. That's an option. So Janelle shares a little bit more financial information, and that is, as we know, the way it was back in the past, BR time period before Robyn, whenever somebody needed something, everyone pulled their money together in the family and they took care of it. And that's how it always was, and it always worked out. Now, Janelle has maintained that mindset all the way through until present day. Well, Robyn comes into the family, never with that mindset, and it all changed. And Janelle specifically said, yeah, about 10 years ago or so, things all changed, and all of a sudden everybody was all about what's theirs. And yet, Robyn was more than happy to take all the family money and proceeds from the other wives to get the house that she's in right now. She admitted that house was not meant to be just hers, that was sort of a family house that everybody bought, and that her name just happened to be on it. But
Wait, what? Her name just happened to be on it, but what a coincidence.
When they sell it, it'll go back to the entire family when they build out on Coyote Pass.
Yeah, sure.
However, Janelle shares with us that because that was the situation, and it wasn't meant like, oh, I never understood why Mary and Janelle gave her all this money to buy that house. Did they really think she would turn around and give any money? She would never have a surplus of money. They don't have a surplus of money. The two of them had to take out another loan to pay off Coyote Pass. They just blow through money. But she seemed to think that it would come back maybe at the sale of it or whatnot. But because that was the situation, Janelle said, okay, Kody, since this is how it is, we need to put all our names on this property, not just Robyn. And he's like, no, Robyn needs to have something in her name. And Janelle just let it go. I don't understand. That's the part that confuses me. Why?
Doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's go on. So Janelle, very logical, in all fairness, said she wants her value in the property. And of course, that's changed now since Christine gave up her rights to it. So it kind of needs to be reassessed. So she wants her fair share, and she wants back the money that she put into the family house that Robyn happens to be living in, that Robyn and Kody's name is on. What's Robyn's response? Oh, here we go.
I mean, it's like we were working together for so long, and we didn't actually stop working together until, just recently. When Janelle's bringing up, that Kody and I owe her something, it's like, how do you calculate? How do you figure that out? It's so confusing.
She's so confused. Of course. It's proof that she's such a liar every time she says, I'm so confused. All right. So this is what Robyn's saying. Okay. So yeah, Mary and Janelle, they put money into it and all that. And now they're leaving the family. But they say they want their money back. But in the past, we all just worked together to pay for everything. So how would we even figure that out? What, are you stupid? Listen to your words, woman.
You get out of this what you put into it.
You are saying we all work together to pay for different things. You never brought a penny into this family. You only brought debt. They all work together to pay off your debt. Then they all work together to buy your house in Vegas. Then they all work together to buy your house in Flagstaff. You have not contributed to help any of them. They all have these other businesses to bring in extra income to the family. You have nothing. You have a defunct, ugly jewelry hobby business that only costs the family money. That's it. You've brought nothing. So how can you not understand where Janelle is coming from when she's like, I want my fair share? You've contributed nothing. You've taken everything, and now you won't give any of it back? When you own all of that and the woman who helped pay to give you the money to do all that doesn't have anything because she believed everything was going to be fair and equal in the end. I am sweating. I'm going to have to turn on my fan with the clicking and drive you all crazy. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. All right, let's keep going. So Maddie's very confused. She's like, why is the property not paid off? Janelle said, he said it's because he had all these other debts he had to take care of. Again, proof that the finances have gotten switched over in the past year at least, if not longer, to Kody. Here, all these years we really thought that Janelle had her finger on the pulse and she was paying all the bills. I think that's how it was with the OG3. I think after Robyn came into the family, Kody took it over. And he has taken the money and run with it. And here's what Janelle has to say about that.
I've watched him add enough, like he keeps buying assets that he sits on. Trailers and blah, blah, and blah, blah, blah. I see all the art on their walls. I see all these things.
Janelle took care of her household. Christine took care of her household. Robyn took care of her household. Mary took care of her household. Then I focused mostly on sort of getting the cars for the kids, basically had a fleet, insuring the cars for the kids.
Okay, so that's why they drove junkers that were unreliable and always broke down. That was Kody's responsibility to provide vehicles to his family. So I just want to be clear. He has let us know that each of the wives took care of the mortgage and the utilities and the groceries and all the child rearing expenses, clothes, and all the fees and everything that comes along with that. Plus, they took care of their own personal selves. They took care of medical bills. Okay. And Kody would buy a junker car for a child when they turned 16. And he states it like this is all equal and fair. Oh, wait, he also paid the insurance on the cars. Okay, that makes up for it. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. All his portion of the TLC money, that's what it was. So it does look like the TLC money was getting divided up amongst the different people. I just want to see how that all happened. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I just love how Kody's like, oh, we had a fleet. We had a fleet of cars. Sure, all these. They couldn't even get a car until they were 16, and I doubt he bought them a car the day they turned 16, but let's just say he did. Let's just say for their birthday he got them a car, a beater, with 200,000 miles on it. When they're 18, bye. He paid insurance for 2 years, and then they had to do it all on their own after that. He literally only paid for 2 years. If he put them on the insurance when they were 16 years old. At most 2 years, because we know, bye-bye, at age 18, we've seen it out of his own mouth. So any fleet of cars that he happens to have right now are cars that he's just collecting for himself. We saw last season, he had an extra convertible sports car and an extra pickup truck, more than he needed. So he was selling them to his friend who owned a used car lot. He collected cars for himself. It was his fleet. He only had about one kid turn 16 a year. So that was what, $5,000 a year? That's all he had to contribute while the wives paid for everything for all the kids in that whole household. I can't, it's unbelievable. And then Christine points out that Robyn didn't just take care of her own household. Kody's money helped pay for everything that was Robyn's. They divided it in half. She only had to pay half.
They shared the house payments, they shared the utilities, they shared everything.
But I used to always be surprised at how nice her backyard was. It was completely finished, and there was always like stuff at her house, and I'm like, wow.
Woo! It's a huge piece of information right there.
Kody and my money has always been separate.
Lies. Okay, maybe truth. This is how we can distort the truth. Kody's and my money was always separate because when we got the TLC money, we divided it equally amongst 5. So he had his bank account and I had mine. Our money was separate. However, when it came time to pay the bill, she only paid half of it. See, this is her way of getting around the truth. Oh, no, our money was separate, but I only had to pay half the bills. And then the part that made me want to spit was when she decided to explain how she learned to be very good with her money. So, if Janelle doesn't have money now, I don't know. I was very good and careful with my money. She must have blown hers.
I used to be not so great with money when I was young, and then I learned during my divorce really how to budget myself. You just must have had a different priority of where your money was going to go than I did. That's all.
Can you believe those words came out of her mouth? As she's dripping with designer stuff, Tiffany earrings, Tory Burch sandals, thousands and thousands of dollars of ugly art and ugly statues and gaudy trinkets and collections all over her house. And Janelle is living...
I bought the house.
...with nothing. And she says, I don't know how you spent your money. Just this episode. Kody's response to this, because the producer shared some of this information with him, they're jealous. They're jealous I took all the money and gave it all to Robyn. They just wish I took it all and gave it to them, I guess. No. Everybody wants everything to just be fair. That's it. It's not fair.
There's a lot of misguided jealousy here, a lot of trash talk. Is it true? Well, some of it probably is, but most of it's not.
Sorry, as a speech language pathologist, his voice just drives me nuts. Some of it's probably true, but most of it's not. Oh, the way he stretches out his vowels drives me crazy. Okay, let's go on. It has nothing to do with anything. Every little thing he does and says is now going to drive me crazy. Hope B. All right. It's so good. We're talking finances. We're talking Coyote Pass. And then now Janelle drops another bomb and gives us deets on why Maddie and Kody are not communicating with each other. She comes right out and says, Kody stopped communicating with Maddie during the whole breakdown of the family, probably when her brothers were having a difficult time with Kody. Kody just stopped reaching out to Caleb and Maddie as well. And Janelle says that the grandchildren, they don't even really know who Kody is. He has never been out there in North Carolina to see them. What's more to be said, other than Kody just lying and denying it? Oh, well, we'll get that. Robyn tries to explain it.
I have encouraged Kody to work any relationship out that he can with his kids. But I guess it's been a two-way street. Maddie hasn't been reaching out to her dad either.
Yeah, I've tried to encourage him to do it, and then she turns into her infantilized little girl. But then I don't know, I guess it's a two-way street. They're not reaching out either. It's like a kid who shows up to school hungry, and the school calls the house and says, "Hey, Joey here in 6th grade is really hungry. He said he didn't have any breakfast today." And the mom goes, "Well, yeah, but he's old enough to set his alarm and get himself up an hour earlier so that he can have breakfast before I get up. And quite frankly, he didn't make me breakfast either." Robyn logic.
To be honest with you, I didn't really cut off communications with Madison. She cut them off with me.
Lies. Wait. Maybe not lies. Because he's never reached out to them. He never initiates conversations and interactions and maintaining relationships. We have seen that. May not be a lie. Because he's never done it, and they've always been the one to have to initiate everything. When they stopped and said, enough is enough. If he wants to see his grandchildren, he needs to reach out to them. And he hasn't. His perception of all of this is, they cut off communication with me. There's the truth of the matter right there. He never stopped reaching out. He never reached out. So communication has ended because Maddie's done reaching out to him and his sorry ass. Oh, but then wait a minute. He has to throw in a dig about Maddie too, right? Of course, yeah. So he felt like every time he talked to her, it was fishing for gossip. So apparently when your child asks you about your life and about how things are going, etc., or even inquires about the relationship with one of her siblings because she cares about them and she cared about you, your interpretation of that, Kody, is she's just fishing for gossip. So we finally see who those people were. Remember, we saw Janelle walking and we're like, who are those other people?
So who are they?
It is the real estate agent lady, along with Maddie and her 2 kids. I didn't even see the one in the picture. And Janelle. And they're looking at this property in Montana. It's about 5 hours away from where Christine lives, so not too far away compared to North Carolina. She said the price is right, and they were looking at 40 acres of land. It was beautiful there, too. However, it was 40 minutes from town. Now, in general, I don't think they care about being in town. If they want to go out to eat, they can go out to eat and just drive 40 minutes. But when you have young kids, it's different. You have kids sitting in car seats, being trucked 40 minutes to school, 40 minutes back from school, 5 days a week, 40 minutes to go back and forth when you have to go to the grocery store. Of course, you're not leaving them behind. So when you need to run your errands too, it adds up. It's a lot, and I can see that being the deal breaker. Deal breaker. Did you hear me say deal? If any Brown family members are listening. Deal breaker. Dill is a kind of pickle. Deal with a long E sound is like a negotiation, a trade, that kind of thing. Okay, let's keep going on. Kody. This is an episode of him saying one thing and then saying something different. Or saying one thing that's completely different from something he said in the past. He couldn't wait to get out of Vegas because he said how rotten it was. It was always meant to just be temporary. I never really wanted to stay there. The people aren't the right kind of people.
I'm tired of Nevada. I want to move bad. I've wanted to move back to Utah ever since we left.
The weather's not what we really like. This was never meant to be our permanent home. Flagstaff is going to be our permanent home. Now what's he saying?
When Maddie and Caleb were living with us in Las Vegas, that was the best time of my life.
Hindsight's 2020.
We had the 4 homes together. Everything was going along smoothly. Maddie and Caleb were around, and it was great having them around. And I loved Caleb. He was definitely like family. Things started to fall apart with the divorce, and then with my differences with Janelle and the differences over COVID, it just made all those relationships go sour.
Here's Kody blaming the breakup with Janelle over the difficulty that he has with Caleb and Maddie. Janelle just broke up with you, Kody. That doesn't even make sense. Your timeline is completely, you don't even know what you're saying. Kody might be starting to think like a TLC timeline, where you just take events and put them in whatever order you want. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that the timeline was accurate, and he is now saying that Janelle, the breakup with her, is causing the strife and the turmoil with the kids. Why? Why can't you still have a conversation and a relationship with your kids? You can, Kody. You can. But you won't. He's just too arrogant. Here's another example. Kody taking no responsibility for anything. Every now and then in his life, he'll go, maybe part of that was sort of mine, but that's as much as we ever get of him admitting any kind of culpability, his favorite word, one of his favorite words, to any given situation. Christine shares this.
All the kids that were frustrated way before I left. My leaving didn't change his kids' relationship with him. Kody can still fix his relationships with his children.
And that's the sad part of it, isn't it? He thinks, okay, it's over. I'm not going to try. Maybe someday we'll get back together. He said that at the last episode. Maybe someday in a couple of years, things will get back together. He's expecting time to heal all wounds and everybody to come back to him. He's never going to reach out to them. He wouldn't need time to pass if he was going to reach out to them. He could just do it right now. He could mend everything right now. He can mend everything right now, but he won't. I saw that on a YouTube channel recently. I was watching this YouTube video describing a narcissist. And somebody wrote in and said, listen, people can change, can't they? You've seen it all the time. People can change. And this doctor, who's a specialist on narcissists, said, people definitely can change, but a narcissist won't. Moving on. I just want to say this next line about him being hangry. Does he not know what hangry is?
I'm so hangry about how I've been treated that I haven't gotten past that.
Well, have a sandwich and then come back and do the interview. Maybe you'll feel better. I don't know. Okay, let's do it again.
I'm so hangry
Here, have a snack.
about how I've been treated that I haven't gotten past that.
Zero responsibility again. It's all about what everyone has done to him. I really think he thinks he's done nothing wrong to anybody. It really seems, he's never shared anything he's done wrong, except push the one house dream, which he didn't even really push. Everybody knew it was never going to happen, everybody but him. So he took responsibility for something that he didn't need to take responsibility for, because it really was not the reason your wives are leaving you. Not because you wanted them all in one house. That's not why they're leaving you, Kody. There's so many other reasons. So many. Mostly how you treat their children.
Here's the thing is I'm not willing to take blame for things that my wife or ex-wife is sitting there telling them that I did.
Even if it's true? Interesting. Because they told their kids about what happened, he won't take responsibility for it. He's just going to deny that whatever they say is true. They're not liars. We've watched them for 14 years. Well, 15 years. We have watched this family. These wives don't really lie. They might backstab at times and maybe talk behind somebody's back. That's really the crux of how bad they are. And that's human nature. Nobody's perfect. So everything you're saying, Kody, we don't believe a second of it. None of it. None of it. None of it.
I hope the time comes when the contempt will subside and we'll be able to find forgiveness and love again.
Nope. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Translation, I hope the time comes, if I let enough time pass, that they'll forget about everything that I've done and we'll be a family again. Sorry, Kody. So there's a really cute scene that happens right now. It's at Christine's house. It's a welcome home party for Isabel. Actually, I don't think it's at Christine's. Is it at Christine's house or was this at Aspen's house? It may have been at Aspen's house. And everybody's there. There's Isabel. There's McKelty. There's Aspen. There's Maddie. There's Hunter. There's Mitch. There's Truly. There's Maddie's 2 kids. And then Peyton comes. So, and it's just so cute when he walked in, how excited all the kids were to see him. It's like they haven't skipped a beat. And they were thrilled, and they were laughing and joking, and it was just one of those cameras way back in the distance overview shots of them laughing and joking around and asking each other about their lives. Peyton sharing that he is now a bouncer at a strip bar, and all of them laughing and joking about that. Hunter hitting him, saying, "Way to go, dude." Aspen saying, "So when we go, does that mean we'll see you as a bouncer?" Like, it was so funny. Aspen then giving Mitch a hard time. "You don't need to go. Whatever those women are doing, I'll do for you." I mean, it was just very funny. Christine, completely embarrassed by the entire conversation, was like pretty much keeping herself out, as she should have. This was a time for just the 20-year-olds to rib at each other and have a good time and laugh. And it's just so good to see how they're all siblings. They're all siblings. And I think it's because of that 15 years when they were their formative years, when they were growing up, being so close together. Side note, I just have to point out, when Peyton walked in, his head was almost scraping the ceiling. They have a little drop soffit ceiling right over the kitchen, and he walked in through the kitchen. He was bending over, and it's still like... he's crazy tall. It ended with Christine just reflecting on how lovely it is that Isabel is nearby now too, that the group in the Utah area is growing, and she's hoping that maybe Maddie and Janelle and Caleb and the grandchildren will be moving that way too. Now we know that didn't happen. Well, we're going to cut it off right here for today because there is way too much. I don't know how many actual episodes this will be. We'll see as I start doing my editing. But I didn't want this to go too long, and I didn't want you to have to wait too long for me to get it done. So it's going out. Thank you for watching this first installment. If you hadn't had an opportunity to hit the subscribe button, do that right now. I appreciate it if you do. Cost you nothing. And definitely come back when I create the next installment of my review of episode 2. Thanks, everybody.